I chose to investigate how dinosaurs are portrayed in the media by investigating Jurassic Park: The Lost World, produced by Steven Spielberg and released in 1997, as well as Fallen Kingdom, which was released last year and produced by J.A. Bayona. Both of these films depict dinosaurs that would have been seen during the Mesozoic. Each film introduced new fan-favorite dinosaurs, with the most recent installment having the most diverse species of dinosaurs in any of the films. Some of the inaccuracies with Jurassic Park are the obvious ones that we've heard ever since the first film came out, that they had dinosaurs that would not have lived during the Jurassic. So they shouldn't have called it the Jurassic Park. That they showed dinosaurs that would have lived millions of years apart from one another in the same scene, living somewhat harmoniously on these islands. But with Hollywood, you do have to kind of embellish some of these facts a little bit, especially if you're wanting to get the suspense and the drama. You want to put the well-known dinosaurs together that everybody easily recognizes. The films are based off of a company called InGen, which was a biological engineering company that had found a way to genetically bring back extinct dinosaurs. They did this by purchasing or leasing some islands off of the coast of Costa Rica. In the first film, they mainly focus on Isla Nublar, which was the zoological park where visitors could go and see and interact the dinosaurs. In the second film, the one that I chose to focus more heavily on, which was the Lost World, mainly revolves around Site B, which was Isla Sorna. We come to find out that Isla Sorna was the actual factory, or where they did their research, where they hatched and nurtured the dinosaurs before transporting them to the zoological park. Later in the film, they talk about why they had to leave. A tropical storm came through and forced the evacuation. During that tropical storm, the facilities were damaged or destroyed, leaving the dinosaurs to kind of fend for themselves. So Dr. John Hammond, the brains behind InGen and the brains behind the Jurassic Park idea, sends a group of people to Isla Sorna to try and collect a photographic record, a living fossil record of the organisms that are seemingly thriving on this island. So that's where our paleontologist, our videographer that's played by Vince Vaughn, and Dr. Ian Malcolm return to the island to make those data collections. Whereas a second team, unbeknownst to the first one, comes in to try and collect the dinosaurs and preserve them and bring them back to San Diego, where they can have an actual zoological park there in California where people can still see these dinosaurs. So it's not a complete loss. If we fast forward to 2018, where now we've just seen where we've tried to reopen the original Jurassic Park, and we, as expected, everything kind of goes to pot. Now we have this island where these genetically engineered organisms are, and it raises the ethical considerations of, are we responsible for taking care of these organisms? But it also raises one of the biggest ethical debates that's going on in paleontology currently is between private collectors and scientific advancement. Should those private collectors be able to sell for profit any of those fossils they may find? Or should they be shared with the scientific community first, or given to the scientific community for further study and advancement of understanding the behaviors, the traits, and the physical appearance of these organisms? But with all that aside, if we look at the actual fact versus fiction of the Jurassic Park movies, a lot of what they did was accurate. They did accurately depict the size or the shape, maybe even the skin tone or some of the noise or acoustic sounds that these animals made. But again, the biggest inaccuracies come from being able to balance out the drama and the suspense. So, for example, in the opening scene of The Lost World, you see a little girl on a beach with her family, and she sees a small dinosaur, and she even asks, "Are you a bird?" thinking this was some a weird bird-like tropical creature. It was making noises like a bird. It was small, about chicken sized, and she fed it roast beef. It was a carnivore. It was a very small theropod named Compy. But what then they show is in like a herd mentality or a pack mentality, all of these Compy dinosaurs jump this little girl. Later in the film, we see these same animals jump and attack and devour a large full-grown male. Well, that's the biggest inaccuracy of that dinosaur. It was a small dinosaur that relied on very small animals like insects or lizards. Another inaccuracy is shown in the type of environment that the Stegosaurus would have lived in. They wouldn't have survived in a tropical environment. It would have been too warm for them. The Parasaurolophus, which is the dinosaur that has the really long cranial crest, they were depicted as running very fast. If you remember, there's this whole chase scene where you have dirt bikes and off-road vehicles chasing several herd-like dinosaurs to try and capture them. So those animals were only documented or believed to have ran up to 25 miles per hour, whereas in this scene, they appear to be moving much faster than that. Other inaccuracies come from the Parasaurolophus would have not lived in a tropical environment. They would have preferred cooler regions, more of those temperate locations with a definite wet and dry season, with your forested areas and your open plains. And I haven't seen a tropical island that has both lush tropical beaches and lush lagoon environments with large natural plains as depicted in the movie. There are other inaccuracies, but those are the ones that really stand out that we can definitively say or prove that's not the type of environment that that organism would have lived in, or that's definite behavior that would not have been seen in those organisms.